The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. It is so wonderful to see you here this weekend before Thanksgiving 2018. I first want to wish everyone who is from the United States who's on the call with me this evening a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And if you're anyplace else in the entire world, I wish also a happy Thanksgiving, filling my heart with gratitude and sending it to yours, because I think that it's a holiday that all of us everywhere on the planet would do well to celebrate. It just is so wonderful to be able to look around at the things that we have and aspire to, and the people we can share our holiday season with gratitude in our hearts. And to me, that's what Thanksgiving's all about. So here we are. We're on the Psychic Hour, and I want to welcome everyone here. We seem to have a smaller group than usual, which is great for you folks because it means that more people are going to be able to get their individual questions asked. And I think that's because, guess what? My new website is live. And not only is it a new website, completely brand spanking new and wonderful, you're going to love it, folks, if you go and check it out. It's at www.sandyanastasi.com. Now, that is the same call letters as always, but I'm on a new domain. So if you have cookies in your computer, you're going to have to wipe them out so that you can make sure you get to the correct website. And if you're catching this on YouTube after the fact, please recognize that right now most of my videos on YouTube are going to be directing people to the old website. And that website, the domain, no longer exists for it. So you've got to re-enter that into your computer or your smartphone or your tablet or whatever you're using to get there. At any rate, I am grateful that everybody here made it on and that we're going to have this wonderful, exciting, fun-filled evening this evening. Before we get started, I have a little bit of housekeeping I'd like to touch bases with you. The first thing, obviously, Thanksgiving's coming, and right behind it, Black Friday. And like everybody else, I've decided to launch my Black Friday specials early. And I would love to take an opportunity to just go through them with you really, really fast, because there are some absolutely wonderful things here that some of you might want to take advantage of, and they're only going to be available until November 26th. So we have a fairly short time frame for them. Incidentally, you're going to want to make a note that our next Psychic Hour, the last Psychic Hour of the 2018 year, will be on December 16th at 9 p.m. So make a note of that, and I'll hope I'm going to see most of you there. I'm recognizing so many names right now that have been with me for this entire year. A lot of you haven't missed a single session, and I have to tell you, that's one more thing for me to be grateful for. It just brings this joy to my heart to get to know you the way I have with our monthly session once a month here when I do this Psychic Hour. It's really as much fun for me as it is for you. So, without any more ado, I have some big deals that are coming up. First of all, I've got two buy one, get ones, two BOGOs. The first is a super one, and I don't know that I've run it before for a Black Friday. It's just fabulous. It is that if you get any reading with me, that's on my website, any reading at all, whether it's a half hour or an hour or the after death reading, that actually is two separate readings, any reading, it's going to be buy one, get one. So you can either buy one and use it now and put the other one on your shelf for a later date, or you can, just give it away as a Christmas present. So the buy one, get one is for any reading that's on my whole site. And folks, that's going to save you anywhere between $250 and $600. So that's a real good deal. Also, I have this wonderful Evolution of Consciousness webinar series I did live a couple of years back. I've created an online course with it. There are more than 20 webinars that feed out to you over a 6-month period automatically. The the class is just amazing. It's 20 hours of webinars. These are webinars in all areas of metaphysics, and each webinar, hour long, ends with a great meditation having to do with the webinar. You can read all about it on my website. I think, Lisa can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the cost on that's $49.95, and I'm giving that to whoever buys it between now and the 26th of November. It's a BOGO. You buy one, you get one to give away to someone else. Okay, so this is just absolutely. I'm excited because these are some fancy things that I haven't been able to do before that I'm excited to be able to offer. On my newsletter, my little flyer that I sent out, it said that the BOGOs have to both be used by December 31st. Please scratch that out. If you buy one and you're going to save the second one to use for yourself, that should have read December 31st, 2019, not 2018. So you have a whole year to use it once you purchase it. Okay, more. Okay, those people who like to get that multiple reading pack with me, wow, what a deal. I've got a 6 reading package. You can use that as psychic readings. You can use that as counseling or coaching. It's yours to work with. You can use it with any of the targeted readings on my site. 6 readings. If you purchase them separately, it would cost you $1,500, and it's on sale for $995. That means you're getting 2 sessions for free. So if you're somebody who really wants to make a change in your life in 2019, I don't know any better way to do it than to get that really personal guidance and coaching from me and my guides. And this is a fabulous price on that. Now, I also have a brand new membership site on my website. There's a membership area, and the membership is going right now for $10 a month or $97 a year. What does that get you? It gets you more than 300 audio, MP3, downloadable courses that come straight to your tablet, computer, smartphone. Just amazing information. It's all of the classes that I taught with my partner, John Mayers, from 1983 on. This is mind-boggling. There are things on that membership area that nobody anywhere else in the field of metaphysics is doing. It's that amazing. And of course, the magic series, people have been after me for a long time to publish that, and I kept holding back on it. Well, that's in the membership series, membership area too. And that membership area, right now, up until the end of December, okay, it's going to be, this is a cat out of the bag, it's going to be $10 a month or $97 a year. After December, when we get into January, the price on that's going to double. So right now is the time to get in on that. So that one, you don't have a time limit on that because I'm going to run that right through the end of December. Now, here's another thing that is only time limited by November and December. If you buy anything on my website in November or December, anything, you're going to get a special invitation to a private online free webinar that I'm doing, and it's going to be a solstice ritual and meditation, and it's going to focus on healing self, healing planet, and it's going to be absolutely magical. The date on that is I think it's December 23rd at 7 p.m. So it's that same weekend as the solstice. And it's going to be a really magical event. So remember, anything. It doesn't have to be even something big. Buy anything, and you are going to be invited to that private event. I know I'm talking fast. Any of the things you didn't have a chance to write down, go to my website, and you will find all these things on there. And also, my newsletter's coming out, and my Black Friday special is going to be coming out in another couple of days. I know I already sent it out, but it's going to come back out again. So you'll be able to get this information. Or you can always email Lisa Inc. at AOL.com because Lisa always knows everything that's going on. The woman is brilliant. Okay, couple of other things really quick. Don't forget my psychic cruise. And although I can't discount that because, a cruise is a cruise. The cruise line sets the price. It's going to be a magical time. And if you want to really gift yourself something wonderful for the holidays, don't forget the cruise is booking up. and it runs down into the islands. It's going to be a magical, wonderful time in April of 2019. And also, if you are on my mailing list, make sure you're on it, because if you're on my mailing list, you're also going to get some amazing discounts for my Christmas specials that are going to be coming up in December, and also my New Year's specials that are coming up at the end of December. So make sure you're on my newsletter so that you can hit all those nice things that are going to be coming your way. Now, I also have my biggest thing that I personally am grateful for. I don't know how many of you have been following me on Facebook, but I had a wonderful puppy, the first litter that I have bred of my little Pekingese in, oh God, it's got to be 15 years. And because I had stopped breeding, and I recently just started, and the very first puppy to be sold went to Sandra Barnwell, all the way out in Oregon. So he's got this wonderful mommy. At any rate, I wanted to say thank you, Sandra. I know Oreo's got a wonderful home. I'm very excited for him. And I have one other puppy for sale. He's totally black. His name is Midnight. And again, if anybody's looking for a Pekingese and can really give it a good home, please contact me either through my email on this site or through Lisa. Okay, I'm done spending time catching you up. The way we run these, just as a reminder, when you are called on, raise your hand to be called on. When you get called on, I would like to know your name, first name, where you're calling from, what you're most grateful for tonight in your own life. And I also would like to know your sun sign, because I can use this chart here, this horary chart, to give some information about you and what's going on for everybody who's in your sun sign or complements to that sun sign. And I'd also like to know your specific question. And I'm going to move as quickly as I can because I know we've got lots and lots of stuff going on, and everybody's just, I can feel it. Everybody is just popping with the need to know. So, Lisa, who is our first caller?
Our first caller tonight is going to be David. If I can unmute him. David, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute on your end? Hello, David. Well, that's not happening.
Okay, well,
we'll go to the second one.
let David work on unmuting himself, and meanwhile, we'll move forward.
There he is.
Oh, okay.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, thank you for taking my question. I'm from Marietta, Georgia. My sun sign is Gemini.
Uh-huh.
I'm grateful for everything in my life, including my kids. And my question is, what's in store for me for my career and love life and my life in general?
Oh, okay. First thing I want to say, David, I'm going to give an overview here, and I think it'll give you some good insight. But for that big, let's talk about this whole thing. You need a reading. And folks, you would, those of you who've actually had one-on-one whole readings with me, you would be amazed, because I'm an ex-New Yorker, and how fast I talk and how much information my guides can push through me in that half an hour that most of my readings are. So you may want to book a complete reading. But okay. How this goes, when I'm looking at this chart, it's called a horary chart, and I can find your sun sign right up here. Okay, you're a Gemini. So a little bit of your sun sign is over here in the house of giving love and affection to other people, which is one of the big things you're doing right now. But also, most of that Gemini is in the chart's 12th house. So, folks, if you, like me and David, are Geminis, you're finding yourself at this moment in your life really doing a lot of internal work, a lot of soul searching. As David said, you're looking at your life and you're saying, what is this all about? Am I going to stay in this career? Do I want a new career? Am I at a juncture? Am I supposed to be changing or turning? Is there more to life than this? If you're a Gemini, you're asking all of these questions. Now, in addition, to Gemini's being affected that way. Their opposing sign, Sagittarius, is having a similar effect. In fact, for Sagittarius, it might even be a little bit more intense because right now Sagittarius has both Jupiter and Mercury passing through it. So you guys are talk. You got to stop talking and start doing about, changes you want to make in your life. And the Pisceans, and notice that Mars and Neptune are over here and Chiron in Pisces. So the Pisceans on the call are also doing that, only they're really looking at, I feel like I've been going down the wrong path and I've had this huge, an epiphany. I know that I'm here to do something so special. I know I have to act on it. Hey guys, any idea? Okay, so the Pisceans are feeling a little bit confused out there. And guess what? There is a mutable T-square going on here that's focusing its energy into Virgo. So all of the signs, including Virgo, all those mutable signs are having this need to really get the teeth into something that changes their life direction. And you're not going to be able to do it until you start doing the detail work. And I know we all hate that detail work, but I've got to tell you that what's going on here is that things have gotten away from you. The big picture is so big and you're being pulled in so many different directions that you're having difficulty gathering it all together and keeping that focus you used to be able to keep to be able to make it to that next step and do exactly what you want. So, you start and you get distracted, and you start and you get distracted, and you get turned around. You say, well, what was I doing? And you start again, and that's what's been going on for all the mutable signs now for quite some time. So the key to getting out of that loop is focusing on something. And the more, get this, the more picky you in the detail, the better it's going to be because it's more likely you're going to be able to achieve it. So work on that one detail, then work on that next detail, then that next detail. And what's interesting is if you follow that trail of detailed breadcrumbs, it's going to start to focus you, your action will begin to focus you in the direction that's going to work best for you. Okay? Now, David's specific question, okay, and this is something we do in astrology that's called spinning the wheel. David's first house in this chart is here. It's the chart's 12th house. Well, his house of career is the opposite house in the chart. It's the, it's the 10th house from the 12th. So that would put it over here. So David, your house of career has you really emotionally, that's the moon, focused on, I need to achieve, I need to get started. It's time for me to really turn on the gas here. I know my time is coming. The midheaven is Aries and so is the moon. But I first need to get my name out there. I need to get some recognition. I need to get out of the shadows. Do I need to change jobs or careers in order to do that? So there's a little bit of confusion here. It may be, David, that you're going to find going back to, my guides are saying your roots. So I'm going to repeat that. They're saying your roots. But what my brain is saying is that there may be something you've done in a past job or circumstance that you're able to bring in right now that's really going to focus both your job, your career path, and also your life direction in the way that you want it to be. You have gotten off track because of other people's needs, desires, input. If you go back to being that, I'm going to be blunt, that self-centered guy who says, nope, I'm doing it this way, you're going to get yourself back on track more quickly, like you were when you were a kid. Okay? That's why they say go back to your roots. And as far as your love life is concerned, that is the 7th house over here. And, I don't have the greatest news for you on this one. Okay. If you are currently in a relationship, that relationship is likely to continue certainly through the holidays, probably for the next year. It might even become a permanent relationship. But if you are not in a relationship, then the next year kind of keeps you in that not in a relationship status. And, because this Saturn over here is going to hold you in the same space that you're in right now, unless you put a lot of effort in working out of that. Okay? So, did that help? I hope.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and thank you. Those were some good questions, and I love to ask questions or to have you ask questions that let me go into the other signs, like in this case, the mutable signs, because there is so much overlap, and then my guides can bring through a lot of information that's going to help a lot of people on the call who might not get a chance to raise their hand. So, David, I thank you for covering all that ground with everybody. And Lisa, who's our next person?
All right, the next victim for tonight, and I can say this because I know her, is Barbara. Barbara, you are unmuted.
Hey, Barbara, are you there? Barbara? I wonder if she stepped away from the computer for a moment.
We've been trying to get Barbara connected for the last 3 months. Every time there's a problem. So we may have to come back to Barbara.
Yeah, you're just going to have to come back to her again. Okay, so who's after Barbara?
All righty, we're going to go down here, and I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Elvira? E-L-V-E-R-A.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi there.
Hi. Okay, I am Leo, and I'm most grateful for my dog. And yeah, she's my first dog, and I can't believe I lived without a dog for so many years. I guess my question is, my mom recently died, and it was kind of unexpected, and I have some regrets and some guilt, and I'm just wondering, I'm like trying to process it all, and I'm just wondering if your guides have any insight.
Okay, and I want to thank you, Elvira, for for basically asking a question that is going to be pertinent to every single person who is listening on the call this evening, and even people in the future who might listen to this online after the fact. So thank you. And I also want to offer my condolences.
Well, thank you.
I have a lot to say about this. A lot of you who have followed me for a while have heard me say that my own relationship with my own mother wasn't exactly the greatest. So I can honestly say that, and my mother has passed, when you lose a mother, I'm not putting you guys down, okay, but when you lose a mother, there's something so hard to put your finger on about the loss of a mother. Remember, the mother is the one who carried you in her womb for 9 months. The mother is the one who nursed you, suckled you, nurtured you, or didn't nurture you. The thing is that there's something about the connection between a mother-child. And I don't care whether you're a woman or a man, no matter what age you are, whether you're 16 or whether you're 80, when you lose your mother, it's always a shock. And, in my case, I didn't get along with my mother, and I didn't see a whole lot of my mother. So when she passed, it was a total shock to me that it really, 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 really bothered me, okay? And you're going through the same thing. We have, we have this thing inside of us that says that, our mother is always going to be there to nurture us and take care of us. And I used to be driving down the street, and this is really, you can laugh, you can, because this is me we're talking about, and you can laugh. But I'd be driving down the street, and I'd have something going on in my life that was difficult, and I'd say to, the spirits out there, I'd say, "Oh, Mom, why did you have to die now?" And then my own inner voice, my guides, would laugh at me. They'd have a giggle, and they'd say, "Are you kidding? She wasn't there to give you nurturance for 10 minutes in your life. What on earth would she do right now aside from making you feel even worse?" Okay. And yet I still had that little voice that said, "Oh, Mom, I need you." Okay. So the reason I want to say that is that, most people, and I'm spoofing on this, it wasn't all that bad. My mother and I did learn to get along together. The thing is that everyone who loses a mother has that same thing going on, that, oh my God, I need you, whether you needed her or not, you still have it. It's like built in to our genetic structure. Somehow we feel that a mother is supposed to always be there to take care of us and make sure that we get picked up on our feet and after we fall and and get a boo-boo on our legs,
Mhm.
we never get over that. So that feeling that you have is perfectly normal and natural. I can tell you that it's going to be its most intense for the first year or two, and then after that, gradually it will dissipate, and you'll be able to have that little giggle at yourself like I still do, okay? And
Okay.
over time, you're going to be able to, in your own heart and mind, get along better with your mom and feel comfortable with your mom. Now, the whole thing about guilt, um, I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's feet here, okay? But I've got to say it because my guides are telling me I need to. Guilt is something you do to yourself. Nobody does guilt to you. Your mother is not out there on the other side saying, you weren't at my bedside. Okay? Now,
Mhm.
there might be some mother somewhere out there, but she's a very unevolved spirit, and before long, somebody on the other side will just smack her in the face and say, that's pretty stupid. So, really, guilt is something that you willingly pick up and carry as a burden if you choose it. Okay?
Okay.
So, and I really want you to consider that because your mother, and I don't care whether you argued or fought, I know your mom loved you. Okay? That's another part of the mother-child relationship. Moms can't not love their kids. They can hate them. They can wish they never had them. They can disapprove of them or be embarrassed by them. But all the while, they still have to love them. It's part of the genetic structure. It goes with that whole nurturing thing, whether you want to do it or not. Okay? So, quit that whole thing about did she love you? Did she care for you? Did you do enough for her? Because that's all a head trip you're playing on yourself. Okay? Now,
Okay.
if it satisfies a need in you to feel guilty, by all means, feel guilty. It doesn't hurt anybody else. Okay? But remember, the only one who's going to benefit by that is you if that satisfies some need for you. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So,
have to think about that one.
okay. Yeah, and I know I'm sorry that normally when I would actually do a reading for somebody, if we'd go into these things much deeper, I could look at your whole relationship between you and your mom, and we could work through all this stuff because I can see that in astrology, and my guides can give me information. But bottom line, I'm trying to give that information. We folks waste so much time in guilt and gee, I wasn't there at the last minute, or I didn't bring her pink shoes. I missed last Christmas. We could go on and on and on.
Mhm.
Those are only our own head trips, you see. Think about
Yeah.
if you really want to heal the relationship and you really want to have future lives with mom that are enjoyable and you want mom to be happy on the other side and connect well with you from the other side to here, remember the happy, positive times. Remember the family gatherings. Remember the laughter you had over certain boyfriends. Remember those good times. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And
Thank,
I hope that helped. And like I said,
thank you so
really,
much.
I feel so sad for you that you lost her, especially at this time of year. It's always difficult.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
thank you, Sandy.
you're welcome. And before we move on, I want to take a look at this because this is going to refer to all Leos, not just the ones who might have lost somebody close to them. But, for you right now, a whole lot of what you're dealing with and going through is about money. It's about finance because Leo is on this chart's second house. Remember, this is a Horu chart. So if you are a fixed sign, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus, money, finance, stuff are really figuring very powerfully around you right now. And particularly for Leo is looking at, well, what can I do that's going to get more money coming in? What can I do that's going to allow me to really develop my talents and abilities so that I'm doing something that I like that I'm making money with? Okay, so in addition to dealing with the loss of your mom, you're also dealing with these issues. Okay, and if we go over here and look at the house, which would represent your mother, but also represent your own creativity and your own home nurturance, there's a lot going on there. So I would suggest that this holiday season, you're going to have a lot of support. You're going to have a lot of family around you. You may think, well, we're also distant from each other. I see that gap closing. I think you're going to be very, very surprised at how much love and support you get from family. That could be brothers, sisters, even your own children if you have them. Okay? Thank you very much. That was a great question. Let me cover a lot of ground for everybody. And Lisa, who is next on the call?
I'm going to reach out to Barbara one more time and see if we can make a connection. Barbara, you're unmuted. Just not Barbara's ear.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on with the microphone in her computer.
Okay, I'll move on to the next one.
Barbara, if you had a tablet, next time try dialing in, because you can do this webinar on your smartphone. You can do it on your tablet. GoToMeeting has apps that'll download for all of those. So try it on a different device that the microphone works better. Okay. Okay, Lisa, who's next?
All right, I'm going to try to unmute Marcia. Marcia Lynn says you're unmuted on, or you're muted on your end. Can you unmute?
Now, meanwhile, folks, don't forget that you can be asking Lisa questions in the chat room too. So if you're having trouble with your microphone, go ahead and type your question in the chat room and Lisa can read that out.
Marcia, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hello, I hear you.
Hi, Sandy. It's Marsha. I'm Sagittarius, and I am grateful for my life, for this opportunity to live what I have, my family, my pets. I have an amazing life, and my question is, coming up on my birthday, and what do you see for me?
Well, first off, all of you Sagittarians, happy birthday!
December 10th.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations, and I hope you're going to plan some wonderful, wonderful things for your birthday. I have a feeling your family does. Based on this Horary chart, here you are in the beginning part of the tail end part of the 5th house. This is celebrations and happy good stuff and romance and creativity. And yes, the sun in Scorpio right now, we're still in Scorpio, haven't quite gotten into Sag yet. We're 4 degrees away, because there were 30 degrees in a sign. And lo and behold, I'm suspecting you're going to get some visitors from afar. It would not surprise me if you get somebody dropping in on you, and that your birthday celebration kind of becomes a big old holiday regrouping and gathering. It could be a lot of fun. I also am seeing, as far as, you said you're grateful for your pets. Sagittarius falls on the house of pets in this Horary chart. I just thought that was kind of fun. So you are pretty much where you need to be, playing with all of your pets, and it may be, since Saturn's in this house, that you might be thinking of doing some form of a business that is formed around the pets in some way. So you might be thinking about working for a veterinarian, or taking other animals into board, or perhaps helping people to train them. The thing is that this looks like you're considering, and probably will launch or develop to a bigger level, something having to do with either pets or something in the health field professionally over this next year. Now, notice I said those two things, and the reason I said it that way, I think for you it's going to lean more towards the pets, but it could, like I say, be working with a veterinarian or a rescue. But I think for most of the people on this call who are Sages, or here we go, Sages, Virgos, Geminis, we're getting a lot of those mutable people, Pisces. I think you're going to be working towards some kind of self-healing or healing within the field that you are working on. So if you're working for a company that's going through struggles, that might be a healing to that company. Or you might actually be going into work which involves the health profession in some way. Okay? Did that make sense to you?
Yes, actually, I have a practice of animal communication and also Reiki master and psychic medium. I just wanted to know what was in store.
You're going to start to find through 2019 that even your mediumship is starting to go into the healing, and it will be. Let me
Mhm.
talk to the caller just a little bit ago who is needing to deal with the death of her mother. That's
Right.
the kind of a person that you're going to be attracting, because that's somebody that you're going to help to be able to help that person get closure.
That's what I'm going to enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, I can definitely see
I,
that. Yeah, awesome. And I want to add on, because we seem to be focusing on all those mutable signs, Geminis, Virgos, Pisces, and Sagittarius, that the energy is focusing into that 12th house, which means record your dreams, pay attention to your dreams, meditate, and also really watch your feelings, because you're really being led strongly by your intuition and your feelings right now in terms of your life direction and your profession. But also in terms of communication, do pay very extreme detail to all the things that, or attention to all those details, because you want to make sure that you're being properly understood. And a lot of you are aware that Mercury just went retrograde. It doesn't show up in this chart, but it is retrograde, and will be retrograde until something like the 16th of December. So that makes it even more important for you to pay attention to contracts you might sign, have them double checked, pay attention to things where you're just wanting to make sure that the other person has heard what you're saying. So ask for feedback from people. That way you can be clear and not step on toes by accident. And of course,
mhm.
that's one of Sagittarians' most fun characteristics. Open mouth wide, insert foot. Okay, so this is a little admonition to think before you talk. Okay.
Always a good thing to remember. Always.
Yep, it certainly is. Hey, thank you so much. That was a great question. I'm wishing you much luck with your practice. I think it's
Thank you.
hugely.
Thank you so much, Sandy. I love having you there for us.
Yeah, thank you. And Lisa, who's next? We're moving along tonight. We're getting a lot of people on, which is great.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
Although it's always nice. I'm going down here to Ronnie, who I believe we met in Tampa in one of your classes. Ronnie, you're unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You got a lot of feedback going on there, but yes, I can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Ronnie. And hi, everyone. Hi. I'm glad to be here. And yes, I'm a Leo, and I live in Covington, Louisiana. And I am totally grateful for my beautiful family, my wonderful mom and sister, and also my wonderful friends. And I'm glad to be here. I'm grateful for you all.
Well, thank you. And Ronnie, I've already talked a lot about Leo in general, so I'm not going to go back over that. But what is your specific question?
Yes, my specific question. I keep changing my career direction because I guess I feel stalled, and I wanted to know, like, are my guides trying to push me in a certain direction? Because I just get so many ideas at one time, and I'm like, which one should I choose? Sometimes I think they're giving me a lot of stuff, or maybe I'm just making stuff up. I'm not sure.
Well, and now let me ask you a personal question here, because my impression is that you're changing careers a lot now, and you're finding that kind of disturbing. But you were in a pretty stable career a while back, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I had a very stable, I think, 9-year career, and there was a layoff.
Yeah.
So after that, I've just been trying to get my foot on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested. I thought I had gifts in the psychic field, and I was, interested in getting training in that. And then I had interest in hypnosis, and but a lot of things require money and training. So I said, okay, so I need something that's going to get the income so I can do something I really enjoy. So I'm kind of in that phase.
Okay, Ronnie, I'm going to give you some hints, and then I'm going to kind of leave you to find your own way, because that's what's happening right now. Let me just tell you something. This is Leo. This is your house in this chart, which is, I'm mostly concerned about my finances in my career and where life is going, right?
Yes.
House of career, using this as the first house in this chart, we call it the spinning wheel. For you, the house of career is over here. It's this chart's 11th house. So you might take some career pointers from friends. Listen to what some of your friends are saying you're really good at that you might want to try. But the thing that really caught my attention was the Taurus on the cusp here. Because Taurus is a fixed sign. That's why I knew that you were in a long-term career without changes. You know, somebody else might love this opportunity to be freewheeling and try a lot of different things and explore and experiment, and you're feeling extremely uncomfortable, ungrounded, and I've got to tell you, fearful, very fearful because of this. Okay, you would do well to work in a field where, number one, you're not changing environments all the time. The people need to be fairly consistent, and you would do well in something that deals with some form of commodity or something where you can actually get your hands on it. Did that make sense to you?
Yes, yes.
You know, now you are a person who's very gifted and very talented in many, many areas. So what you're finding is you can drop yourself into almost anything, and you're smart, so you can learn it fast, but then you don't enjoy it, or you're fearful about it, or it's taking too long, or it's not secure. Do you see? You must be in something where there's a solid foundation and there's a sense of security. So right off, I've got to tell you that you're one of those people who does best working for someone else. Now, that doesn't mean that you couldn't have your own business, but if you did, you would do best working, get this, with a partner. Mm-hmm. Because you like that support system. Do you see? So these are just some pointers on how you can get things going. But look for the tangible, where you can do things that are hands-on and see the results of your work. So you could work in an office, you could work in a store, you could work in the food industry, although I wouldn't recommend it for you. Okay?
Yeah.
But you're getting my point. Now,
exactly.
What's interesting is that I was going to say, did you think of following something with intuition? Because there's a whole lot of intuition indicated in the chart here, okay? And there is the potential to have a business as a psychic or an intuitive. But again, remember, you're not the person who's going to be a self-starter. You're the person who is really a leader if you have a partner. Okay? You need the person, you see? So you can do, I mean, you're not afraid of doing the work. You're not afraid of taking over and being the lead on anything, but you do need to have that, you know, that somebody there who's the support system. And I don't mean to pay your way. I mean to be a comrade in arms. Okay. So if you do have your own business, it would be best that it's not completely alone, that you did it either with your spouse or a friend. If you were going to be a psychic, and you could find a bookstore or a spiritualist church to work out of, that would work, or telephone psychic, that would work really well for you. Or if you could hire people, get this, hire enough people to be your support system, that would work for you too. But all by yourself, you're not going to be able to get that off the ground real easily, not because you don't have the talent and the ability, but because you're the person who, believe it or not, enjoys being the support system for other people.
Yes, I totally agree. And I was guided toward, I guess, sales. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess that might be the business that I am supposed to partner with someone with.
You could do very well in sales, and it should be selling a, ready for this, commodity.
Commodity,
right.
Yes.
I wouldn't go out and try to sell advertising. You're not going to do
right.
But if you go out and you sell, TV dinners, you're going to make $1 million. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. It was sales in a commodity, and I was saying this is so different from that spiritual side that I kept. I have this deep urge for. So looks like I am being guided in the right direction. Yay.
And there's nothing that says that you can't do your sales work selling a commodity and get this. If the commodity that you're selling is in some way related to your spiritual work, all of those people you're selling to now become potential customers for you to do your readings for.
Oh, that would be perfect. Ideal.
Now that would work for
that would be, yes, that would be a perfect niche. Perfect.
Okay. You got
Yay!
progressive direction.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna have to reach back when I get there and say, "Hey, Sandy, I did
Yeah,
it."
well, I know you can because you're incredibly motivated and you have the ability and the skill, but you lose direction when you're out there all by yourself.
Yes, I try to do everything alone because I guess I'm that Leo and that Aries. I have an Aries ascendant, so yeah, I think I can do a million things at one time, and I get overwhelmed.
But you want to know something? What's so interesting is when you were working for the company that you were working for, you did
Hmm.
a million things at the same time and you never got overwhelmed.
You know what? I didn't. No, I think I really actually enjoyed it because I felt I was helping people.
Exactly. And
Yes.
here's the difference. You need to be part of a bigger whole, and on your own, you're losing the direction because number one, you have nobody to serve, and you have nobody who's supporting you.
Yes.
And you need those things. They're a very basic part of your nature. Okay?
Exactly. I definitely do. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you much.
Okay, and who's our next person? And see, she really wasn't a victim.
All right, the
Neither
next,
was Marcia.
they're all Lisa's victims. The next person is Juliana. It says you're self-muted. Can you unmute? There you go.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Juliana.
Oh my goodness, I didn't really expect to be called upon today, but it's nice to hear you again.
No time
Um,
present. Yes.
so my name's Juliana. I live in North Georgia. I'm a Cancer, and I'm thankful for a pop-up family reunion we had last week. We have another one coming up on Thanksgiving this week. So extended family reconnecting, which is very nice. My question is, I recently traveled to New York City for a spiritual meeting, and I was given some higher guidance while I was there that was saying to go where the investment is needed. And with my new line of work, I want to shift gears in 2019. I have an idea about what that means, but I thought I'd open it up to see what you had to say.
Is what you're doing involved with the health field?
Well, I am a personal coach, trainer, and fitness instructor, but I want to expand that and, put more of the spiritual side with it. And so I have a creative way of putting health, fitness, and art together. And how I want to go about doing that. But again, I too have all these ideas, and there's too many things to do at once.
My guides saying about it. My guides say when you're following the direction, follow the direction that keeps you towards the health field. So you are a health practitioner, whether you're doing it through fitness training, whether you're doing it through diet, nutrition, whether you're doing it through Reiki or energy work, or whether you're doing it through psychic work, psychic readings, or spiritual connections on a soul level. And you probably are going to end up doing all of those things and putting it together into your very own product. Okay? But the thing that ties the whole thing together is healing. You are first and foremost a healer.
Yes.
And I think that's what that was all about. Okay? That's why you're getting that. Now, I pulled some cards for you as you were talking. And they're telling me that right now, your life is very much in balance. That is temperance I'm showing you. And you are moving in the direction which you are supposed to be moving in. So this should be feeling good. It should be feeling successful. And they're also showing me the Seven of Pentacles, which says that money may be slow in coming in as you make these changes. It may be slow in developing, but that's because you're creating it as you go along. You're integrating. The core is the healer. Other things are being brought in as new modalities, new aspects of it. And you've been on this road for quite some time. This isn't a new route for you. The family support is very, very obvious. It's going to be very helpful. That's the Ten of Cups. And we do have an issue here with a man around you. He shows up as a King of Cups. I'm assuming that's a husband, lover. But we show him as being somebody that has his own issues that may very well be either at cross purposes to yours or cause you to move slower in what you are developing. On the other hand, as he turns his things around, that's actually going to allow more energy to come in to promote what you're doing. Okay?
Good. Yes, good. That's
So,
good.
as far as cancer is concerned, here's cancer, folks, and this is for Liliana as well as everybody else on the call. The family right now is important for everybody. Here it is, the ascendant. And it's the North Node that's involved. There are new traditions that you're supposed to be exploring right now, that you're supposed to be implementing with Cancer. And this whole axis of Cancer Capricorn, there's a pulling together of the families. There's looking at old family politics and manipulations and ploys and no longer being involved with them, just changing and shifting them to things that work better. That seesaw is there, but it's being stabilized, okay? And that's for everybody who's Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, or Libra. And also, we have up here in the midheaven, at the top of the chart, we have Uranus, which says that there are big career changes going on for all of the cardinal signs. So, folks, if you're a Capricorn, a Cancer, a Libra, or an Aries, expect shifts and changes to be happening in your career. And whatever it is that you are doing right now will be finishing up something that, because Uranus is retrograde, will be finishing up something you've been doing for about 2 years. And as we move into 2019, you're going to be embarking upon something new that you will be doing for about 2 more years as you gather more momentum to build whatever it is you're building into the future. And that's for everyone. And this looks like it's going to be a slow going. It's not fast. We have a grand cross happening here. The family gets some energy. The spouse gets some energy. The career gets some energy. You get some energy. And it's a constant balancing act, constant shifting act that's been going on for some time and will continue to go on for about another 2 years before you start to really breathe easy and say, oh, this is what it's all about. Yeah, it was worth putting all that energy and effort in. Okay? Hope that helps.
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Okay, and Lisa, who is next?
All right, this person's name is on here twice, so I hope I get the right one. Must be a Gemini. Marley. I'm trying to unmute you. There you go. Oh, you were unmuted, and now you are again. Hello, Marley.
I think you're self-muted, Marley.
No, it's unmuted. It's green.
Marley, are you talking? I can't hear you. Is your mic on? Lisa, I'm afraid we're going to have to go to the next person. I'm so sorry, Marley.
Let me try this other.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 mics there.
Okay.
All right. Well, the next person then is going to be Diana. If I can get her unmuted. Diana, it says you're self-muted. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't think I was going to get a call. How are you?
I'm well. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. I'm trying to do a self-evaluation for work, so I was wondering, first of all, I'm grateful to have a home. I'm in California. There's smoke all around, but I am grateful I've got my own home, my own bed, my own pillow, my own car, my own everything. So I am very grateful for all of that. I am a Taurus, and I'm doing my self-evaluation for work. So I'm just kind of wondering how you feel that's going to go, because sometimes the bosses don't always agree with us.
Okay, I'm looking at your house of career, which is over here. I think your self-evaluation is going to go just fine. As a matter of fact, honestly, I think that you tend to undervalue yourself I think you probably are worth a whole lot more and do a whole lot more than you give yourself credit for. So you could probably push it even a little further than you're doing and asking for. But I also see changes happening at work too. I think there's been a lot of consistency there for a long time, but something, who knows, it may be because of all the wildfires out there, but something big is changing in the space, in the career path that you're in right now. And probably by the time we get to the end of the year, you're going to be looking at maybe a change in the location that you work in, or a change in the particular job function that you're doing. But I definitely am seeing a change that's coming up. And I don't think it's a bad one. I think it's a good one. But, you're not the person who really embraces change easily.
No.
So even good ones can be rough.
So is this change going to be inspired by me or someone
Yes,
else?
I think it will be. I think it's going to have to do with, like I said, you tend to undervalue yourself, and that's one of the reasons why you tend to get passed over for things. I think maybe you're finally stepping up and you're giving yourself a better self-evaluation, and you're developing the courage that says, hey, I'm here and this is what I want, this is what I choose. But then after you do that, you're going to be surprised, because it's going to end up opening some doors for you that then you're going to be chewing your fingernails and saying, did I really want that?
Okay.
At any rate, it sounds like it's going to work out well for you in spite of. Okay.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I'm very grateful that your home is whole and that you are safe, and that that you're in a good place right now. Namaste. And Lisa, I think we have time for one more caller.
Alrighty. Our last lucky victim is Diane. Diane, you're unmuted.
Hi, Sandy. Can you hear me?
I can. Hello. Good evening, Diane.
I'm in California, and I'm also grateful that I still have a house. You heard all about it before. I'm a Libra.
Just for the record, although I live in Florida we also get years, like you get years, that are incredibly dry and have wildfires, flash fires. So I understand the fear associated with that, and the devastation it can cause. And thank God here we've generally relegated our fires to the forested areas. But boy, oh boy, it's very, very frightening when it comes near houses and towns. And my heart goes out to you, and I hope everyone here on the call this evening will send some healing and love energy your way, and to everyone out there fighting those fires in California. So,
Thank you. Thank you. I know my dog's sick right now. My grandson's sick. I've had terrible allergies because of all of the nastiness in the air.
Yeah.
And I live really close to Thousand Oaks. But my main question is, well, I'm a Libra sun, Aquarius moon, and Sagittarius rising. So I think I got a lot of stuff going on within me right now.
Yeah.
And I am making a total career change because I'm a nurse, and I just can't do that anymore. It just burns me out. So I'm really grateful for the Kabbalah path working, too. That was so amazing for me. But right now, and we just finished, I don't know, I've been feeling really kind of stuck and unproductive for like the last couple of weeks. And I was just wondering if you could give me some insight. I'm like I really want to do like psychic healing work, and I'm learning the tarot, and I'm like, there's so much information that I want to learn that it kind of overwhelms me a little bit. And I'm just wondering where I could put my focus,
So many of you on the call this evening are really talking around the same kind of thing. So I want to address this. By the way, here you are, Libra. I've talked about the sign before, but here, as a Libra, your focus is really at home, and it's with the family, and it's with what's going on with your neighborhood and your environment and the people you know. And one of the reasons that things are pulled back for you is because, frankly, this is where you really want to be right now. It's an opportunity for you to step back and assess and practice and explore and experiment, gather the tools, explore the various possibilities of how you might want to employ what you've got. You have some real good ideas there, but until you actually get some practical experience, how am I going to like this? Am I not going to like this? Should I develop this for myself? Do I go and work for somebody else? You've got to explore all of these different things. And I think the reason why you're kind of feeling this feeling of stagnation is that for so long you've been kind of charging along. And I know in the Kabbalah path working, next week we went on to the next step. And next week we went on to the next step. So there was always this next step. There was always this feeling of constant motion. And now all of a sudden that motion is stopped. Now, while it's at that point, what a wonderful time for you to do an internal self-assessment. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're starting to do. So right now, spending time with home, family, your close friends, significant other, very, very valuable. There is a grand cross which tends to plug things up and create stasis between all of the four cardinal signs, Libra, Capricorn, Aries, and Cancer. And this is important to note because it's going to mean that over this next probably year, because that's how long the nodes will be in this position, as we move forward, you'll move forward 3 steps forward, maybe with your healing work. And then you'll get that stagnation. Okay, it's time to do something else. You'll move 3 steps forward with some work you're doing on the house. And then that all of a sudden feels empty and stagnant. And then you're going to work on some relationship issues with friends, or maybe bringing relationship stuff into the work that you're doing. And when that gets that feeling of stagnant, then you're going to shift things up and change them around a little bit and maybe spend some time just for you. Go on retreat or take a class that's just for yourself that goes into self, and then you come out charging again. But for the next year, you're going to be, it's kind of like shifting the weight from one foot to the other, from one foot to the other. You're going to be putting energy here, putting energy here, putting energy here, putting energy here. And by shifting it, you'll gradually move the whole thing forward into whatever it is you're going to be developing and doing for yourself. What I'm glad to see, especially since you're in the Cancer sign, or pardon me, not the Cancer sign, with the Cancer ascendant in this sign on the chart, is that this talks about being fulfilled and being the position and the place that you want to head towards. Because you're asking the question on this night, and this chart is a horary chart. This is a one-time chart. It is not your astrology chart, obviously. It's a one-time chart, but it answers your questions. Your question is about what am I going to be doing? Something that involves nurture, and something that involves healing, something that involves family, something that involves nurturing and mothering of others. And that's what all this is eventually going to be pointing you towards.
Okay.
Okay? I hope that's helpful. But I think right now you're really getting a handle on where you want to go. And in the long run, you're going to look back and be glad that you had this you're feeling stagnated. You're going to be glad you have it, because this way when you step out, finally it's going to be in the right direction instead of in a direction that's going to need course corrections.
Awesome. Thank you. And I really want to manifest that psychic cruise.
Oh, yes, you will. Do it. Just put it in your head. Do it. Oh, you will.
Okay.
Yeah. And folks, I'm glad she brought that up, because everybody here, put that on your wish list for sure. It's for what you are getting. It's very, very inexpensive. Again, Lisa can give you the pricing on that. But it's always fun. And this one is a 7-day long cruise. So like me, I know you get it. Not only do you have to pay for the cruise, but you've got to put it on your vacation. Otherwise, you're going to lose money if you take time off from work. So yes, this is an investment for you. But I do think it's an investment that you'll be glad that you did. Folks, this has been always a joy. I want to remind you, our next Psychic Hour is December 16th. It'll be the last one of the year. I love meeting with you folks like this. As always, if you email me a question, if you didn't get called on tonight, anytime between now and 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, I will answer that question for you. Okay? So all I can say is have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'm delighted you made it here. Yes?
Sandy, I'm sorry to interrupt because I never do this at this time.
Yeah.
However, our cruise person, just popped in the chat room, and she said right now Royal Caribbean is offering 60% off the second guest for Black Friday.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Lisa. I did ask Pat about that, and that doesn't include you in our group. So, but yes, you could take the cruise. You could book the same ship, and you could be on the cruise with all of us. But you wouldn't be included like with our dinners and all that stuff. To be able to get that, you have to book directly through Pat. Okay? And that doesn't get discounted. I already asked about that. But yes, if that's not a concern, if you don't need all that extra stuff, if just being on the cruise and being able to, you would be able to participate in the psychic fair. You would be able to participate in the messages session that I would be doing. So, you know, there still are options there. So it's not like you shouldn't do it, but you wouldn't get the option of the land tour that we'll be doing and other things that, you know, the sitting together every night, you wouldn't be included in that, the group picture, things like that. Don't you just get frustrated when they finally run a special and they don't put it across the board for everything? It frustrates me too, folks. But Lisa, thank you. That was a good thing to bring up because somebody here may make it affordable to them even without it being the whole thing. Okay? Folks, I am delighted you're here and I'm wishing you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Good night, everyone.